So when I was young and tender, I lived in New York City. In fact, I lived in New York City for 16 years, and I had an apartment on the corner of 2nd Avenue and 10th Street. It was the East Village. So one Friday night, it was in the fall, my friends Otto and Valerie were coming over to play cards. But I got out of work a little early, and so I stopped on the way home at a bar at a happy hour to have a quick glass of wine. And while I was there, I met a guy who told me that he was a love slave. I said, what do you do, windows? He said, no, I'm a love slave, I'm a love slave. I couldn't believe how insistent he was that I try him out. I'd never met a love slave before. He said, I'll do anything you want me to do. I thought, I'm never going to get an offer like this again. And even though Valerie and Otto were coming over to play cards, I thought, how long could it take? So I invited the love slave to come home with me. When we got to my apartment building, Valerie and Otto had already arrived. They were just about ready to ring the bell, and so I made the introductions all around. And then we went upstairs, and I put the love slave in the back room there, and I set Valerie and Otto up in the parlor with cards and chips and drinks. And then I went down the long hall to the back room with the love slave. Now, I had never been with a love slave. I didn't know what to do. And so he said, tie me up. So I tied him up. He said, untie me, untie me. So I untied him. He said, no, tie me up. I tied him up again. He said, untie me, untie me. So I untied him again. He said, no, tie me up. So far, all I could see about this love slave was he had trouble making up his mind. Then he wanted me to put on black boots. So I had to go down the hall to the bedroom. I had to pass Valerie and Otto. They nodded and smiled as the man wanted to get the black boots. Then he wanted beads. So I had to go back down the hall again to the bedroom. This time Otto, and I saw Otto trump Valerie as I went by. Then I came back and I foolishly told him about the blue velvet top. So now he wanted the blue velvet top. So I had to go down the hall again to the bedroom. This time Valerie and Otto didn't even look at me when I went by, and I thought, I wonder who's winning, I thought wistfully. So he said, and bring cigarettes. So I came down the hall, and as I turned the corner into the back room, he says, okay, now light a cigarette. I lit a cigarette. He said, okay, now blow smoke into my face. So there I am, standing in the back room, in the black boots with the beads and the blue velvet top, and I'm blowing smoke into the face of my love slave. And he says to me, now tie me up. I said, listen, not for anything, but wouldn't you rather be playing a nice game of hearts? Well, he wouldn't, and so he left, and Valerie and Otto and I played 2 games of canasta and a nice game of hearts. And that's the story.